Hi guys, welcome to Better Than Therapy. And this episode in this series, I talk about books which are better than therapy and will help you upgrade your life. In today's episode, we're going to talk about overthinking and why one does overthinking. Because you don't like you're very curious as to what other people are thinking. And if that is something that troubles you, in today's episode, I'm going to introduce you to a book which will help you understand people better and will stop your overthinking, hopefully. In today's episode, we're going to review this book. This is the book that I'm going to talk about today. This is The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. It is a book of 586 pages. As you can see, it's very big and huge. I know you don't have to be intimidated by this because I am here to solve your issue. Now, what does the Robert Greene talk in this book? This book consists of 18 laws of human nature, and every law explains as to why the certain things are the certain way. Reading this book will help you understand people better, understand their circumstances better, understand why a narcissistic person is a narcissist, why a low confident person is a low confident person, and all the issues that are there. Now, for example, there are 18 laws, right? Let's see. This book will literally save your life so much. You can literally use this book as a manual, as a guide. You can literally use this book as a Bible, and it's just literally this author is great. I literally love this author. He's the best. Now I know Robert Greene is mostly people mostly say that he talks about manipulation and all that negative things, but we are not here to manipulate people. We are just here to understand why certain things happen the certain way, why people think the certain way. That way, when like you should read this book not to manipulate other people, but this way you will understand when someone is trying to manipulate you. You will understand that this is something that they are doing to you, and you will stay away from that person, or you will know what to do in that situation better. And it's just to understand, like when you have not read this book, you wouldn't know why, like how people are working and how people are playing these mind games and how people are gaslighting you. And this book will save you from all that drama. Now, how has this book helped me? So this book has taught me a lot, like a lot. I can't even explain how much. Like, there have been times in my life when I was in certain situations where everybody around me was very, very, very negative of me. They had a negative perception of me, and they thought that whatever I was doing was not right, and they were constantly trying to correct me. They were not 100% wrong. I mean, they were a little bit of right, but again, you don't have to go through that. You don't have to take other people's opinions as the face value, because they don't know the entire truth about you. Only you know the entire truth about you, right? So you don't have to judge yourself based upon what other people think of you. Now, how this book helps. So it has 18 laws, as you can see, and for every situation that you will go through in your life, this will happen irrespectively of what age you are, what if you are a man and a woman. It doesn't matter if you are they them. It doesn't matter. This is like the human nature. This is how human nature works. So this will happen. And because this book has already told you about this is going to happen, you know what you can do in that situation, and you can get the better out of the life. Now, for example, see, Robert Greene in this book talks about 18 laws. Now, the first law mentions mastering your emotional self. Now, how is this going to help you? It helps you understand where your emotions are coming from and all that stuff. Like, if you're feeling a certain way, why you are feeling a certain way. Because a lot of emotions that we feel are not, like, sometimes the emotions that we feel are not our own self, but it has been projected by someone else upon us. There are many situations on that, like people who are insecure of you will try to gaslight you into telling you that you are as bad as them, when it's not even the truth. So, mastering your emotional self will help you know yourself better. And that way, you will, if someone comes up to you and projects their insecurity on you, you wouldn't be the old self. You wouldn't be like, oh, he's right. No, you would stop and you would question them, and you would question yourself that, is he wrong? Is he right? Does that even make sense? So there are 18 laws, and in every law he talks about how people are playing roles. Like, they have masks. They are like, For example, you are as well playing a role. You are playing a mask. You are the person you are in front of your friends, the close ones. You are a different person. The person you are in front of the people who are not that close to you, you are a different person. The person you are in front of your family is a different person. And the person you are when you're completely alone in your room, you are a different person. This is the law that talks about how people play these roles to fit into the society and how you can see through their mask, right? You don't have to believe everything that they are showing you. And that is how he talks about the mask and how people play them and how you can recognize these masks and how you can understand who is telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. Okay. Then how to stay away from people who will make sure that you don't succeed. There are people like this around us every day. Like they could be your friends, they could be your family, they could be your colleagues. These are the kind of people, not everyone obviously, but there are people out there who wouldn't want you to go up. They wouldn't want you to succeed, so they will try, the group of people, so they will try their best that you are distracted from your goals. And you know how, have you heard the quote that we are the sum of all five people that we spend our like majority of the time with? The kind of people, the company you will choose, you will become like that company. So this, in this law, he talks about how our company decides our fate and how it could be useful for us, or how it will be something that will not let you go ahead. And all these laws, he talks about different kind of peoples and different kind of natures that humans have. Then all that stuff. Now, why why should you know about this? How is this going to help you with your overthinking? Understand, all these laws that he's talking about here, he has given a real life example, a real life example. Now this is a pattern how he writes the book. So basically, he will write the name of the law, then he will quote a famous person, a very good quote he will put out, and then he will start a story of a real life example. He will start a story. For example, he has mentioned things about Einstein, Tesla, Indira Gandhi, and all Martin Luther King, and all these famous people. He has mentioned their stories, and you will read their stories, and after that, he will make sure. Okay, let me just open it. For example, in the introduction, he will just put a quote from a famous person which is related to this entire thing. Then he will explain the entire story as to what is this and what this is not. After you have read the story, you will see here the story ends, and after that, what he will do is, see, in this first law, he's talking about Athena, the Greek goddess. Now, after the story ends, wait, yeah, after the story ends, he will give you keys to human nature. No, after the story ends, he will give you an interpretation that what you are supposed to interpret from this entire paragraph or the entire story, what you're supposed to understand. After the interpretation is just going to be a summary. If you don't want to read the story, you can just read the interpretation. After that, he will give you a key, key to human nature, in which he talks about why these people are a certain way, whatever the story is, why it happened that way, and how it could have happened differently, and all that stuff. After that, he will give you steps as to how one can recognize these certain. He will give you steps as to whatever he was trying to explain you earlier. He will give you the steps to understand how you're supposed to recognize this, or how this is related, and how can I connect the dots and all that stuff. He will give you all the reasons to be sure that whatever we are talking about is related to that only. He will give you that, will help you understand this thing better. After all this, and he will talk about different kind of scenarios that can happen after the interpretation. And he will literally go on and on and on about how this situation could have been like this, how this situation could have been like this, and this and that and that and that. And after that, he will give you the strategies as to how you can implement this in your life. And this literally helps so much because yeah, the law ended. So at the end of the law, he will help you, and he will give you short like steps and guidelines as to how you can apply this in your real life and how you can relate to this personally. Now, one of my friend actually started recently reading these books, and she told me, she was like, everyone, the authors and everything, they write their books on their perception, and everyone has a different perception, as everyone has a different life. Now, how can I relate to that author if my life is different than him? And it makes sense, and it has its point. But this is where this book is different. Now, he is not talking about himself. He's not talking about his life. He's talking about different people's life, and he's trying to make you understand where they went wrong and where you can correct that same mistake and you can go right. He is talking about the history so that we can learn from the history and we do not repeat the mistakes. And he's also talking about how you can avoid the mistakes. And he's also talking about how you can avoid those mistakes and how you could have gotten the better, how you could have gotten a better, how do I say this? how could you could have gotten the better out of the same situation. That is what he's talking about. Now, the entire book, I know this book is very huge. You don't have to read the entire book. Again, as I said, you can just skip to interpretation if you want. But trust me on this. When you understand this book has taught me so much, so much, so much. I cannot express how much this book has taught me. And every time you overthink, you are overthinking because you don't know. This is how I think it. Like if I'm overthinking, the reason why I'm overthinking is two things. Because I do not know, so I can just assume, right? I do not know the future, so I can just assume. And the second thing is I do not know the person, so I can just assume because I have not done this, like I have not taken any action, so I'm just sitting here and assuming everything. Now, what you can do is this book talks about every situation that can possibly happen in your life, like any kind of situation, and he just dissects it and he just tells you what you're supposed to do, how you can be better and how you can not be better, and if something can go wrong, this is how you can avoid it. Now, but if I know three things, okay, not three things, but see, if I know where how the person is actually thinking, I don't think I would be sitting here and overthinking because I already have analyzed as to what they can think and what they cannot think. So I don't have to sit here and overthink. Again, overthinking is not always about just a person, it is also about yourself. Like maybe I will be overthinking about my future, maybe I will be overthinking about what I'm going to do and what career I'm going to. So it can also be about my own self and not about others, but my own self. Now, here's the point. If this book doesn't only talks about other people's nature, but it also talks about you. This is also about you, like how I told you about. He's also telling you how you can be better and how you can change. So this also talks about yourself, and this book has helped me understand myself better and how I can like the major concern that I had about overthinking. This book does solve it. Like when I read something, when I feel like I'm stuck in a situation, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Instead of overthinking over that situation, I just grab this book, find the chapter that I can relate to or relate to the situation, and I just read it through, and I just get the see, it's like a cheat code. This book is crazy. You have to try this, even if you don't want to. If you don't want to read this entire book, you can just comment down and you can just tell me that maybe I should make a summary video as to what every law talks about. I would love to do that. If you want that, you can just comment down below and I'll do that for you. So that's how. Oh, also, see, I made this. This is a Bleach reference, by the way. This is Ichigo and where is Rukia? Yeah, this is Rukia and this is Ichigo. This is my bookmark actually. So, in today's episode of Becoming Your Better Self and Therapy, Better Than Therapy, this is the book that I recommend today. Because this book is literally like a cheat code. You don't have to sit there and overthink. You can just know. It's what's better than knowing, right? Like if you know, why would you overthink about it? So yeah, it just elevates your perspective and you know better, you understand people better, you understand where their emotions are coming from, and you wouldn't, after you've read this book, after you've gone through this, you wouldn't look at people the same way you used to. It happened with me. It literally happened with me. You know, you wouldn't look at them the way you used to. You can, this book will help you detach from, in not in a negative way, in a positive way. This book will help you detach from your ego self and your perceptions of the person, and it will help you detach from the, it also goes vice versa. Like you can detach from their perception of you and you can detach from your perception of them, and you can just be like a third person looking at the situation like, oh, this is happening. What am I supposed to do? That is something that helps you gain clarity, and where there is clarity there is no confusion, and when there is no confusion there is no overthinking. And that's all I have to say about this book. This book is magic. Robert Greene is my favorite author. Please, 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 please meet me once in your lifetime. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.